So, what do you think of when you hear the word luxury? For most people, it's a brand new BMW, VIP tables at the club, or designer clothes. But after years of working behind the scenes in banking and accounting, actually looking at the real balance sheets of everyday people, I've realized something pretty shocking. Most people who look rich are actually completely broke. They are what I call 30K millionaires, basically financing a lifestyle they can't afford just to impress people they don't even like. Here's the truth. True wealth is invisible. And thankfully, getting rich is actually incredibly simple, but it requires rules that 99% of people just refuse to follow. So today, I'm breaking down the 5 critical financial guardrails that completely transformed my life. And listen, if you put them into place, they will absolutely change yours too. Let's dive straight in. Rule number 1, the buy it twice test. It's a simple mental filter for everyday purchases. If you can't buy it twice, you simply cannot afford it. You see, we live in a culture driven completely by immediate gratification. If there is money in our checking account, we just assume we can buy the item, right? But as an accountant, I look at cash flow, not just balances. If you buy an $11,000 luxury asset or even a $1,500 discretionary gadget and it leaves your account drained, well, you didn't buy that item. That item bought you. Delayed gratification is literally the cornerstone of everything in finance. If you can resist the urge to buy that shiny object today, your payoff later in life will be massively multiplied. So the next time you're about to swipe your card on a luxury item, I want you to ask yourself, do I have the cash to buy 2 of these right now without breaking a sweat? If the answer is no, walk away. I promise your future self will thank you. Moving to rule number 2, you absolutely need a mid-month check-in. Most people fail at budgeting because they only look at the damage at the end of the month, when it's already too late to do anything about it. Think of your monthly budget kind of like a bathtub. Discretionary spending is like a wide open drain, pulling water right out of the tub. If you don't check the water level until the end of the month, you're going to find yourself sitting in an empty, freezing tub. Instead, do this. Set an alarm on your phone for the 15th of every single month. When that alarm goes off, look at your discretionary cap. If your fun money budget for the month is $1,500, you should be right around $750 by day 15, right? But if you're already at $1,200, you know you have to aggressively lock things down for the next 2 weeks. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it stops a financial bleed right in its tracks before it ruins your month. All right, rule number 3, beware of the Facebook Marketplace trap. We all love to justify major lifestyle purchases by telling ourselves, oh, it holds its value. I can just sell it later if I need to. Well, let's play out how that actually goes. You buy a premium asset for $2,000. 3 years later, you realize you need the cash, so you list it on Facebook Marketplace. Guess what? It's now selling for $1,800 less than what you originally paid for it. And frankly, that's assuming someone actually buys it. You end up dealing with low ballers, people ghosting you, and just a brutal emotional roller coaster. Here's the takeaway. When you buy consumer goods, just assume that money is gone forever. Do not build a financial safety net out of depreciating assets sitting in your living room. This brings us to rule number 4, lock in a 20-year maturity horizon. Whenever the stock market gets expensive, people tend to freak out. They see high price-to-earnings ratios, which, by the way, is just a fancy accounting metric to gauge if a stock is overpriced, and they absolutely freeze. They stop investing entirely. Think back to 2012. If you searched Google for stock market overvalued, you would have found literally hundreds of articles claiming the market was overpriced by 50%. If you believed them and stayed on the sidelines, you completely missed out on one of the greatest bull markets in human history. So here is the data-driven truth. When you look at historical U.S. stock market data, over any rolling 20-year period, the stock market has had 0 real negative returns when you include dividends. Over 30 years, the returns completely stabilize. Think of investing like a tiny snowball rolling down a massive hill. At the top, it doesn't look like much. It might hit a few bumps along the way, but as long as that hill is long enough, it inevitably compounds into an absolute avalanche of wealth. Stop trying to time the market. Just stay invested for the long haul. And finally, rule number 5, relentlessly build your initial nest egg. When you're first starting out, people think the key to getting rich is finding the perfect crypto coin, the ultimate stock pick, or some magical business venture. But here is an open secret straight from the banking world. When you don't have much money to your name, investment returns really don't matter. What actually matters is your savings rate. If you look at the math behind building your first $100,000, dynamic models show that after 6 or 7 years of consistent investing, roughly 77% of that total amount is purely comprised of the raw cash you saved, not the interest you earned. Your money simply can't compound effectively until there is a critical mass to compound on. At the beginning, don't stress about maximizing your yield. You need to stress about maximizing your savings rate. At the end of the day, remember that what is risky for your neighbor might not be risky for you, and vice versa. There is no one-size-fits-all financial blueprint here. You have to look at your own risk profile and run every single piece of advice through your own critical thinking filter. If your goal is to achieve true financial peace of mind, you will absolutely attain it. But if your only motive is to make money just to spend it on the illusion of a good life, you'll constantly be chasing a moving goalpost. Don't be the 30K millionaire. Focus on your own lane. Look closely at your life today. Are you actually building invisible wealth or just a highly visible illusion? Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.